Yeah, I have started the recording. Now we can discuss. So, as we know that whenever we go for the interview, right? Interviewer asks lot of questions related to dependency inversion, dependency injection, inversion of control, and about framework also. And most of the time, we are aware that what is dependency inversion, what is dependency injection. But after a discussion, we got little bit, we become little bit confused that, hey, what should I, like, we become confused that what should I say, what should I not say. The simple example of dependency, simple example of inversion of control, I can say one example very simple. Suppose I am making a database connection, and then I need to change that. No, it should communicate. As of now, it is communicating with SQL, but later on it should communicate with Oracle, some other database also in the future. So when I will give the functionality of inject the things on demand, you want to insert the data in Oracle, then inject Oracle database services with the help of interface and all. So that is basically a kind of inversion of control. So anyone?
Hey Pankaj, can you repeat?
Sorry?
Can you repeat again?
Yeah. So I was saying that whenever we go for the interview, interviewer asks question related to inversion of control, dependency inversion, dependency injection. He asked about IOC container also. And then we become confused. Right, Gautam?
Right.
And we are aware about it, that what is inversion, what is dependency, but somehow we become confused. So here we need to understand dependency inversion principle and inversion of control. These two are principle. Dependency injection is a pattern, and IOC container is a framework. So this is how you can differentiate these, means we can categorize the things into category, and then confusion will go away. How? Dependency inversion, inversion of principle, inversion of control, it is principle. And dependency injection is a pattern. IOC is a framework. So first we need to understand what is principle and what is design pattern. So anybody who can explain me what is principle and what is design pattern? Anyone? Yeah, Bebo. Okay. Anyone who want to speak about that, what is the difference between dependency, what is the difference between principle and design pattern? Anyone? Gurdas, would you like to speak about it? Prasant, Piyush, Puspender, Ashish, Gautam, Abhishek. Anyone? First of all, can you hear me? All of you?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you like so it is an open platform and no one should hesitate that maybe I will speak wrong or what. Don't worry. Whatever in your mind, you should speak. Right, Siddhar?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, please continue, Siddhar.
Yeah, principle means already some given the some solution. So use the some restriction problems. Then we can use some example of some solid design principles. Also, you can use that. And the pattern means like different patterns that are used. Some architecture patterns, some design patterns also. Some architecture pattern like MVC, one of the architecture patterns. In come to design patterns means some dependency injection design patterns, some dependency inversion control also, some design patterns also will loosely clapping. It is a loosely clapping we can achieve by using for the interfaces only. That is
Right. So design pattern means it is a concept like solid principle. And
yes,
whenever we want to make our code loosely coupled, we have to follow both design pattern as
yes,
well as principle. And principle give us a high level design for better software. Means if we will design our software on the basis of principle, if we will follow, then in the future any enhancement or any changes will come, then we will be able to manage them very easily. First example of single responsibility, we can manage the changes very easily. Open close principle, we can whenever I will any enhancement will come with the help of open close principle, nothing will impact in our existing system. Same with LISCO and interface segregation and dependency inversion also. And what
yes,
about the principle? Like we communicated that principle provide higher level solution and design pattern provide a low level solution. Means it will give the implementation. For example, as everybody know that what is design pattern. Design pattern means in the object oriented pattern, one problem is occurring again and again. So we have some solution for that. For example, factory design pattern, abstract factory, and singleton, momentum. So we have different types of design pattern for different solution. Whenever we are going to implement design pattern, first we need to understand that what is the problem. Then we need to look in the solution. So anybody again who want to speak that what is principle and what is design pattern?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, please.
If we are talking about the design pattern, okay, not about the principle. So design pattern, some kind of a way where we find a one problem, and according to this problem, we have a solution. So let's assume whenever we are going to develop anything, we are facing some issue, like we have some problem in terms of we are creating one class. In that class we are creating multiple instance for that class. So later on when we are running this software or running this website on the multiple users, so we face like somehow our application is in terms of the poor connectivity, or we can say the performance of my website is very slow. So it means somehow we are creating our solution, or we are design our solution in terms of some wrong way. So what we need to do, we have to understand first what is my problem, and according to that we need to follow some rule, and these rules are called design pattern. Am I right?
Right, Gautam. Right. Yeah, please
Okay.
continue.
Now, yeah, if I now if we are talking about some principle, so the principle means rule. That's it. Rule means whenever you are going to build anything, either it is window application or web application, if we are following some rules, that means we are following a one principle. So as you told, like the principle is a high level documentation or high level understandable things, that whenever you are creating any website or anything else, either it is in not in the IT department, any department, like if you are going to make some uh, building and something like bank, some any field, but if you have any principle, if you are following one principle, that make you a perfect, or they will provide a one rule. If you are going with this rule, you get success. That's it.
Okay. So anyone else want to say something, that difference between principle and design pattern? Because we are around 33 participants, right? Everybody should speak 1 and 2 line. Even though we can repeat also same thing. Ajay sir, unmute yourself. Deepak, Gurdas, lot of name is there. Gyan.
So
Okay.
according to my understanding, principles are the rules. Okay. And rules can be made for the broken also. Means if we'll following any principle, we can broke that also. It's not giving us such architectural um, problem on your solution. It's a rule. If you follow that, it will helpful for your future. Means this is a practical of the principles. Like we all know about the solid principle in um, fact, but this is also a fact. Most of us is not following the principle in every program of our whatever we are writing. When it's come to the framework, so framework, according to my understanding, it will give you set of instruction. By following those things, you can achieve those principles. Okay, so those are instructions, and instructions can be followed. So we are doing those type of things. This is my understanding. If I'll short down all those things, I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, because framework provide a solution, and they will design some steps which we need to follow. Like we will talk about IOC container. In that area, we will discuss that how the framework is working, right? Again,
Yeah, sure.
and lot of time, again, questions are coming from that. What is artifact? It is nothing. It is just a framework, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes what
Artifact
happens? Sometimes what happens? We are not doing the analysis, not discussion. That's why we forget that after some time. But I think if we keep discussing the things, then it will refresh our memory time to time.
And it will help. Means according to me, if we'll do these type of discussions during creation of our any of solution, we'll use these things. Else we'll forget those things, or sometimes we'll not hit those points at developing those points during our solutions. So this is interesting thing.
Agree. Totally agree.
Right. So now it is clear that inversion of control, dependency inversion, these two are principle, and dependency injection is a pattern, and IOC container is a framework. So anyone have question that what is principle, what is design pattern, what is framework?
Pankaj, can you please repeat once again?
Which one? Last
Same.
statement. Okay.
Yes.
Inversion of control and dependency inversion. These two are principle. Dependency injection is a pattern. IOC container is a framework.
Okay, got it.
Got it? So maybe
Got
a lot of people get the question that, hey, what is IOC container? Sometimes we explain about IOC container. Then he asks, you know about Artifact? Then we reply, no, I don't know. Just that is a kind of framework which we install, and then we follow some instructions which is already given in the Artifact, and then we do the implementation. Like good example of Artifact in ASP.NET Core. Whenever we design a class, at that time we create the instance of class with the help of transient, add scope, and singleton. In that we provide interface, comma, then class. So that is the best example, not exactly Artifact, but it is the best example like framework. That we can say that it is a IOC container, right, Gyan?
Right.
Yeah, I think so. Means if we'll go like for Autopack or type of things, whenever we are doing the coding in core and we are registering any of dependency injection, so this is sort of code, something like that only. So we can refer those also at point of time when we are doing any registry.
Yeah. So Pankaj, before we move on this IOC container, can we discuss something about the loose coupling, so we
Okay.
can clear like So,
Maybe
Pankaj,
you
I'm
joined first time,
explaining.
Gautam? You are joining first time?
yes, first time.
Okay, then one information for everybody that whenever we are starting a session, we can discuss on any topic, right? There is no restriction that we have published this topic, so we will discuss only that. We can discuss any topic, right, related to technical.
Right, Pankaj.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever we have doubt on any topic, maybe somebody have doubt that what is okay. Suppose we are doing a study of IOC container and somebody have doubt, hey, what is get put and patch? We can discuss that also. So, okay.
Okay.
Let's discuss about loosely coupled and tight coupled. Anyone who want to respond on this? Anyone? About what is loosely coupled and what is tightly coupled? Yeah, Vaibhav, continue.
No, Pankaj, not much.
Okay.
Right.
Anyone who can say something about loosely coupled and tightly coupled? Okay.
So basically, let me explain something, and then technically you go, Pankaj, further on this. So as we know that it's having a coupling. So when it's the term coupling means, what the term coupling means. Have you ever seen the train and the bogies of train are uh, joined with each other? Where the coupling. So if anything is joined with each other through any bonding, it's called coupling. So this is, if you know this, you'll find it very easily. So when it say that loosely coupled means you can extract it at any time, and you can fill it at any point of time. So it will not hinder all of your solution. But when it comes to the tight coupling, so tight coupling, if you have joined it, means on a fixed position that it can't move, it's tight coupling. So previously we was using all those things. If we are using the class object only in our programming, it's called a tight coupling. But later on, when we come on that dependency injection and all those things, what the solution which we got, that through interface we can use the interface in the main program, and we can decouple all those different classes which we are going to use in the future. Like I have given example before also, the example which Pankaj given today, that okay, we have a two classes which having a database connection in it, and sometime we have to use that Oracle connection, And after a while, we thought that, okay, instead of Oracle, we have to go on a MongoDB or SQL Server or anything else. So it's on a fly, means we can change anything. But what we can't change, whatever we written in that interface, means the property of that interface should be there in that decoupled classes. And by registering those, we can easily do that. If it makes sense to you guys, then
Yeah, it
okay.
makes sense.
Else I'll explain it more better way.
Yeah, if you want, you can continue. No issue. But we got the things.
You got the thing?
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So again, I want to give some points about loosely coupled and tightly coupled. Tightly coupled means it is attached with it, right? And loosely coupled means it have a flexibility. Whenever we do the changes, it will not impact existing ones. Like
Can we
when we
can we
do-
talk? Can we go with some examples? Like what exactly if I creating one class, we define some methods. When we are creating the object for that, so what it means? Like it's a
So okay. So I'm giving answer of that. So have you worked ever on till now on dependency injection?
yes.
So what you do in that dependency injection, you mostly gone with the constructor based dependency injection, correct?
Right.
So in that
Correct.
thing, what we do will indulge a object of that interface in that particular class what we are going to use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and by that interface we are calling the second class, which is a override of that interface.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, in main program, what you are calling interface. Let's suppose, and what you are doing, you are registering in a service. Means this interface belongs to this particular class. That's
Yes.
it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In future, let's suppose you have used this interface in 50, 60 classes of your solution. So let's suppose, and the other thing came out in. Let's suppose you are using that Gmail mailing class for mailing, and you have a mailer interface for that. So you are
Mm-hmm.
using the mailer interface in everywhere. Instead of mailer interface, if you are using the Gmail class only, so you have to create object of those classes in everywhere. And if you want to change that Gmail to Yahoo or something else, what you have to do, you have to write a class for that Yahoo or SendGrid or anything. And then what you have to do, you have to go everywhere and change that object of Gmail to that Yahoo or SendGrid, whatever you are writing there. So it may
Hold
increase
on,
your
hold
work,
on, hold on,
but
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. So what you are talking about, like first we have one class, either we can say Yahoo Mailer. We have one interface,
yeah,
okay,
your
Mailer.
mailer, and you
Okay.
are using it in your solution at multiple places from where anywhere you are calling any mail function
Ah,
by
okay,
that.
like okay,
Okay,
okay. So right now we
okay,
have one class and one interface, right?
yes.
And this
And the
interface
second solution, in the
multiple
second,
classes.
it's a decal. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's a decoupled solution,
Yeah.
and you have a registry which says that okay, mailer interface is with Gmail or Yahoo, whatever. So and in future, and the second solution, what you haven't created interface, and you haven't done that dependency injection. And in that case, what you if you have to call that Gmail or Yahoo class, what you have to do, you have to create the object of that Gmail or Yahoo everywhere, and you have to call the object and then call the function everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
in that manner, you are exposing it to every class. Okay. But in future, let's suppose your requirement came to you that change this Yahoo or Gmail, whatever you used to SendGrid. SendGrid is now common. So if you have to change it now in both of solution, So if it's a decoupled, what you have to do, you have to write a SendGrid class and then register it with that mailer interface. That's it. Your work is done. But in a case of tightly coupled, where you are using that same Gmail object everywhere, if you write that class and you are calling that thing, so what you have to do, you have to go every place where you have written that, okay, it's a Gmail class, and then you have created the object, and then so you have to change the reference at each at every point. Let's suppose it's a 50 places you have written that, so you have to go on each and every 50 places and you have to change those things. So this is a difference between tightly coupled and loosely coupled. This is a major difference between.
So, for example, I want to give just one example here that how loosely coupled makes more sense, right? Suppose I have class A, and then I have something in class A. Then I have class B, and I have something here. And A class is inheriting the B. And when I am going to create an object, so my screen is visible to everyone, right?
Yes, yes, Pankaj.
So when I am going to create an object, then what I will do, I can write like this: obj equal to new B. It will, we can say it will work, right? And when I will say obj in next one dot new A, it will also work, right? But in the same time, if I will say B obj 2 equal to A, it will not work because we are doing the things tightly coupled. It is not loosely coupled, right? It is not possible. This one not possible.
Right.
Why? Because parent cannot override the child. Child can override the parent, and I can override myself. So if I need to fix this problem, what I need to do, I need to follow the Lisko principle. What I will do in that case, I will make one interface, IA, right? And then I will design a class A, and that interface will be here. And I will give the declaration here. And then I will design class B, A, and then I will do the same thing here. Now we are coming to create object. Now what I can do, A, obj, new A. It will work. Same way I can do obj, new B. It will work, right? And I can do here another way, A, obj equal to new B. And then again, inside obj equal to A. So both are possible, right? And this was possible only due to Lisko principle. So this is loosely coupled. In future, suppose another class came. That class is C class. And C class also will inherit the same thing. And then again, I can do the same thing. So what will happen? Now C class came, but there is no impact in existing one. This is the beauty, or we can say feature of loosely coupled. And so this example is clear?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, let's take another example. When maybe I will do some spelling mistakes, so focus on that. We define one function, one method as a virtual, right? In we can take example class A. In class A, I define something as a virtual. Now I
When
can
we are
go.
defining this virtual, can you explain again this virtual keyword again?
Okay, virtual. So anyone who can explain about virtual keyword? Anyone?
Uh, Basically, we are using virtual keyword when we are like we are having some base functionality, base methods, and we have to in child class we have to override that functionality. Means if you don't want to override, we can use the base method, virtual method. If you don't want, and if you want to override, then we can override that particular method in our child class. So this is a
Okay, so
basically use.
whenever we create a method with the virtual, we should use the override method keyword as well, or whatever.
Yeah, we
Yep.
can we have to override that particular method.
So again, whenever we define a method as a virtual, and when we inherit that class into our next class, now it is up to me whether I want to hide or I want to use or I want to override. It is up to me. If I have to override, then I will use the override keyword. If I have to hide that and I need to use my own functionality, then I will specify the new keyword at a place of override.
Okay.
Virtual
Right.
means
What is the word? What is the syntax for hiding that functionality or
just we
virtual
will provide
method?
new keyword in place of override.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
And we can say
Okay.
in other terms, we can say virtual means we are going to get some default functionality. Now up to
Okay.
me
So,
in my inherited class, what I want to do. Yeah,
so
continue.
in class, in a child class, means I have 3 child class. Okay, so I can use that virtual method as it is. I can overwrite it as it is, or I don't want to use that class method. It will be work for me for the syntax.
No, let's take that example. Like I have designed one class, right? And then I have
Hmm.
3 classes, class B, and both are inheriting same or it will be inheriting different one. Now tell me.
So it's my base class, right?
A is your base class, right?
Okay.
So here
And you have
in the class A,
Okay.
I can override. I can override. In class C, I want to hide the class A functionality. I can do that. In class D, I don't want to override. I don't want to hide. I want to achieve the same functionality which they have given in class A. So I will directly create the object of D like this.